We are live. Is that you, Jack?
That's me and Jason over here at Armature. Do you see us?
I do see you.
Hi, Roby.
Hey, what's up? It's a long time no see.
It has been a while since you've been down here.
I know. I know that Chewy's is calling my name.
As well it should be. Are you? Well, it's still showing Dead Star. Are you not seeing the?
No, it should switch over here in a second.
Yeah, you should be seeing a Wii U home menu screen here. Do you see it?
We are. I'm looking and looking. I think. So let's see here. Have you guys switched over now? Are you streaming?
Yeah, we're streaming.
Hey, Kiefer. They're saying that we're seeing the wrong thing in our Twitch thing. They're seeing Dead Star. We should see Metroid.
A Wii U menu.
A Wii U menu. And then while you guys are doing that, I am just finishing up my mission in State of Decay. I had never played this game. Oh, and I'm stabbing a zombie, thinking of you. That actually sounds really dark.
Yeah, it really kind of does.
Yeah, it really.
I like that.
I don't like that much either. That's not true. I like you guys a lot. No, that's not wrong. Don't think of it that way. Okay, so he's looks like he's switching back to try and get the scenes. Bear with us, guys. We are doing with technical difficulties like we always do but the thing is that it's coming to us where we are here live with the folks at Armature, the brilliant minds, amazing minds, insane minds behind the wonderful new game Recore, which debuted at E3 this year. We are not talking about the game, but we are getting you guys some insight into the people, the masters. Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm building up Jack. The substandard. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's closer. Yeah, you gotta keep me in check, bro.
There we go. Just the crew behind such a great game. And then they are going to be we're going to be looking at two games here. We're going to look at it's Dead Star, right?
It's Dead Star.
Dead Star, which I actually had a chance of taking a look at way early on, so it'll be great to see how that game has progressed, and we'll be playing that on the PC. And then also Metroid Prime, which is a game that is very close to the hearts of the people at Armature, as many of them worked on that series. Mark, Todd, and Jack specifically, who are the the three guys who are the triumvirate of leadership over at Armature Studios. So,
well said.
Look at that. See? I have been working.
There you go.
Oh, hey! And the Wii U is on here. The Wii U is on our stream, so we can see this now. So here we go. They're getting everything set up, and we're going to start playing along. So Jack and it's Jason. Yes, Jack and Jason.
Right. Yes.
Why don't you guys introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about, tell us about Armature. Tell us about what's going on, and Jack, you can talk a little bit about your role on the game you're about to you played. We're about to play.
So I'm Jack Mathews. I'm one of the owners here at Armature, and I was one of the tech leads on Metroid Prime. It holds a pretty special place in my heart. Really, I love the game. It's one of the few I've probably played through more than 10 times of my own, and it's really great. And right next to me, I have Jason Hudson, our new community manager here at Armature.
Right. I'm the community manager for Dead Star and Armature, and I've been around the industry, different places, either consulting or other community manager jobs, but I've only been here, 4 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
Total crash course.
Yes.
So when Jack walked in the other day, he was like, "Hey, you want to do an extra live stream?" I was like, "When?" He was like, "Friday." I'm like, "Sure."
It was literally 15 minutes before the phone call.
Wow, that is a crash course.
It is. So yeah, I wanted to pull up the beginning of Metroid Prime. I thought it might be fun just to, talk about a couple things and just sort of bring up some of the bits about it. Maybe it won't be fun. Who knows?
Oh, it will be.
Thanks.
I think there are so many people who, I see John Noonan actually in chat, one of the senior producers, and even me. This game has huge memories for those of us who came back and played this, and it's cool to actually, and in some ways surreal to actually get to have this on our stream. So thanks so much for streaming this for us, guys. This is a real. If you guys have not played this game, you should play this game because in a lot of ways, I remember the one before that was I played Super Metroid in the SNES, and then they had kind of some weird Metroid-esque stuff going on, and then this kind of brought Metroid back to prime time. Metroid Prime brought prime time. There we go. So we're going to take a look, and then just kind of give us some developer commentary and talk about it as we kind of play.
Yeah. So this is basically our opening level, which we did not build even close to first. Right now, you're pretty much looking at the tutorial. And what's really funny is like one of the things people, identify with Metroid Prime is like the scanning and the scan visor, and that was a big deal. And I don't know how to explain how hard it was to actually train people to scan this thing this pylon I'm doing. And oddly enough, we moved this around like so many times, but what we're looking at here really is, we had a strange control scheme originally on the GameCube, because the GameCube controller was a strange one. So this is basically the training, and the first set of dots you saw was me logging on and doing it, and this one is literally just saying, hey, here's another 4, and you really need to look up, And so, as simplistic as that sounds, all of this was extremely necessary, especially back then, because you got to remember, there weren't that many twin-stick games back in this day. I mean, pretty much Halo was there with us. So things like training people to shoot up like that, training people to jump. Hey, Ruby, what am I doing right now, according to you? Because I know we're a little lagged from this.
So in this, you're actually showing me the 4 pylons, which you just got through. The one thing I will say is we are working on the audio issue with. Some people are saying that the Skype volume is low. So I'm actually Kiefer. We're looking into that. Yeah, he's taking a look at that right now.
Okay, well, I'll just talk a little louder. One thing that's nice, and I'll mention here, is like the morph ball is something we really had to do. I mean, we put so much work into that, and it's probably got the best follow cam you will ever see of anything. But like one of the cool things that I just wanted to point out really quickly as I roll around down here is you'll notice when I roll really slowly that like the ball kind of tumbles over itself, but then as I speed up and roll, the ball rolls like a tire. Like getting things like that in the game, I feel like it really adds to that immersion and that experience. But it took us a long time to really figure out that needed to happen, in a pretty meaningful way. So stuff like that was really cool. Again, this was like the last thing we actually put together right before the E3 that we did. So I'm just going to walk us forward, and again, a lot of this is just setting an atmosphere,
Right.
It's a big part of it. And here's the room that a lot of people catch us on, was like, why do you have all these things floating if Samus just jumped out of a ship? Well, oh well. So you scan this thing, but we just thought it was much cooler to scan a piece, have this repressurization, everything falls, But I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. I tried to justify it by saying, oh, she has magnetic boots. That doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, so, and as we're going forward, I end up here in this room where we have a little guy eating on a space pirate, and this was, like, really fun for us, like, putting these little pieces together and trying to get this atmosphere. And we worked for a really long time on the room with the giant dead parasite queen. And one of the things we really loved was the little guys snacking on dead space pirates. You shoot them, splat in the visor. And a lot of those, like, little visor tricks were something that, we really, really loved and really, like, embraced. And the whole, like, the lag on the visor as you move around and everything like that was a pretty big discovery for us. So, yeah, I'm just going to play it forward, and then we basically put a tutorial for just about everything in the game here. So I'm going to come up on a big set of debris, which uses the charge beam, which I am proud to say that the pinch on the charge beam as it goes is actually my baby. So I love that.
So as you were working on this game, like, at what point in time, like, I mean, did you guys know pretty early on that you guys were working on something that was pretty magical? I mean, Metroid, as a franchise, especially on the NES, and then as it moved to the SNES, it had quite a bit of a following around it, and doing such a great job of transitioning it to third person, and then taking that and bringing it to such a high polish level. When did you guys kind of know, or did you know that you guys had essentially done it in this game?
For me, right before the 3 build, actually. When we debuted at E3, we had been putting this together, and everything had been like just sort of on fire. Like, Retro is a studio. They had a lot of they had 4 games that went to 2 games that went to 1 game, and I remember when I heard I was working on Metroid, I was more excited probably than anything else. I could not have expected it, but I mean, like, there were some teething pains. Like, at first we did try to do it 3rd person, and then that ended up, where we were first person. But I would say that really, we were making it, we went through a lot of iteration. It wasn't until probably this E3 when this whole demo came together and everything just sort of worked that we really knew, wow, this is like really, really something. For me, actually, seeing the room I'm about to walk into, which is I forgot what it's called. It's the room where they have a bunch of captured specimens. I don't know why. I just love this. I love the interactions. I love the atmosphere, and I think that was one thing we really nailed was the atmosphere in a pretty big way on this. Like, we have some of these space pirates here, but they're not really that hard or anything like that. And it's just sort of really giving you that idea that you're in this really spooky place. But yeah, it took a while to sort of realize that what we were working on was really coming together.
Yeah, this is such a good game. Okay, so keep going. What are we doing now? Where are we at?
I'm about to get in this elevator and go down to the area with the Parasite Queen, which is our first big boss. Right. What are you seeing right now?
It's all right. No, you're. I mean, I think the thing is that it's impossible for you. It's impossible for us to just kind of to keep up. But I mean, like, I'm seeing, like, the cool thing is that you're kind of giving me your commentary, and then we kind of get to walk in and see it anyway. So so just keep going, and I think it's fine. And if people have questions or whatever, and you guys want to talk about this stuff as we're going through, just pop it out in chat. I'll ask the questions to the guys at Armature. We're obviously not talking about Recore right now. Everything in here is about charity and just the history behind the studio by looking at some of their games. One, Metroid Prime, which they're playing now, which is a lot of the history, and then of course Dead Star, which is their latest release that they have and they're going to play on the PC. And again, donate. That's the other big thing, right? Like, we are here for Extra Life. We are here for streaming. Streaming. We're here for the kids to play games, heal kids. It's about raising money. So please donate. We are very close. We're trying to beat Team Twitch. We're at just shy. Team Twitch is at $9,011. We're at $8,890, something like that. So please donate. Help us get over. We have reached the $7,000 goal, so we do have some giveaways that we're going to do. We have another one that we'll obviously do at $9,000. And man, if we hit 10,000 so soon into the stream, man, that's going to end up being pretty spectacular. So we're here with Armature. Let's keep going, Metroid Prime.
Yeah, so fight the Parasite Queen. This was our first big boss, and I think she's actually the first sort of design boss in the game. And one of the funny things about her, well, for one, you scan her, reveals weak spot, and then she's easy to kill. But this boss took a long time to figure out, and once we sort of got it, though, it was really great. I mean, this whole, like, there's the open part of the shield, and then it starts moving. What I love about it is as the shield moves, you can still try to get a few shots through the middle of it. Pretty simple, but yeah, she was pretty much the first one. And one of the first tests of us having a big boss, having a multi-stage encounter, having all of that stuff. This was, I'm just, being here as fast as I can pretty much. But,
Now, bosses are not, like, I think this is one of the things, like, we talk about it, and I know it comes up a lot, having worked on my fair share of games, but bosses are not an easy thing, right? Like, these are mechanically different in a lot of ways than many of the other mobs that you fight. And I know, sometimes we try to be easy when we think about bosses in general, but Metroid had a ton of unique ones, so these are probably some of the most expensive things to make in the game in terms of encounters, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, each boss, I think, we pretty much account for them taking like 2 to 3 months to be honest, for, just putting them together. It's really, really difficult. Here's a funny one, by the way. When I get to the gear and I'll look at them, the sparks, they kind of go the wrong way. Anyway, the boss are really extremely expensive, and this one was a big learning curve. I mean, like, for that Parasite Queen boss I fought, like, originally it was just be like this creature that sat alone in a room, and like, out of her tail, like, you notice she has this tail that sort of, you know, bows out, and that's because she was originally gonna like lay all these eggs, and then the eggs would hatch into other creatures, and you would shoot those, and it was like this horribly complicated thing. And after we actually got it in the room and started, you know, working with the intent and working with like trying to make her feel, you know, fun and huge and imposing, completely just that. And that's one of the things with the bosses is like, you can design them up front as much as you want, but once it's actually in the game and playing, I mean, you don't really know what it's going to be. So, yeah, bosses are just giant, expensive time sinks. So these little guys, this tunnel area is like one of my favorite areas of the game, because from those swarmers, those were really hard. Like getting that many little things to draw on a GameCube was not the simplest thing in the world. And but I just love the feel of this. I love rolling the ball down the tunnels like this. It's so great. And then when I get to this part after the exploding bit, there's another exploding bit. Actually, where I had to load. You know, one of the things that was hardest in this game is we only had like 24 megs of memory, and so it was really trying to be as clever as we could about loading data. Most of them are the obvious ones because they're behind these nice big blue doors, which made life pretty easy. But then there were other ones, especially in this sequence, like the one I just showed you, where like we just made a wall explode out when the other side of it actually loaded. There's one of those that I'll point out later on, but yeah, I just love this escape sequence with the tunnels. It just feels so awesome, like rolling like this, and you feel the player freedom of the rolling, and it's just great.
So Jack, it looks like we actually have a question, and somebody had asked, when you are creating a new game, do you look to your past work for inspiration?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because like as when we talked about and we had met you guys for the first time, we were talking about Recore, right? Like, obviously that's a lot of the reasons why we wanted to talk to you guys is because you guys had worked on this game as well.
Yeah, I mean, we find inspiration from a lot of things, but I mean, past games, current games, all of that. But for me, I like to just hold myself to this game because it's so great, and honestly, I don't want to make things that are less than what I've made before. So, yeah, I'm coming upon the first Ridley piece. This is actually a really tough cinematic, and it's one of the only times in this game, besides in the elevator, it's the first time you see Samus's eyes. And it was really funny because it was like so impactful to people to actually see that there was a person under the visor.
Right.
And you'll see it. You'll see it in a minute when it comes up. But basically, it's this close up of her eyes, and the fact that she's a woman and everything. And for some reason, that shot always just really resonated with people, big way. And so we actually tried to work her eyes in as much as we can. I think if I shoot charge beam at the wall, it might show her eyes and the reflection in the visor. Let's see. No, that because Prime.
So
there it is. Yeah. You totally see it. So, you know, we tried to actually work that in as much as we could to sort of humanize her, and that was actually a really fun thing to do.
So we got another question here, and this is from Red Hal Drew. He wanted to say, if you could have changed just one thing about the Metroid Prime project, what would it have been?
If I could have changed one thing about the Metroid Prime project, what would it have been? Probably the insane amount of crunch we did at the end.
I was going to say, you probably would have wanted me to work on the game with you.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say. I just forgot. So you can see by the way, I just did the old classic Metroid. You lose all your pickups, and everything goes away. That was actually one thing that did bug me personally, is how easily she just lost all stuff by being knocked back against the wall. But that's kind of a conceit we had to do. Oh, and coming up here is the other hidden load. So it was really funny because, you know, on the other side of the door coming up here is basically that giant outside area, and so it's all the systems are down. We wanted this door open originally, but we couldn't. So that's why the room is depressurizing happens. That's actually another load, loading the giant outside room. But yeah, no, I mean it was a lot of crunch, but I mean then again the work brought everyone together, and you know that was the thing. Like we had such an amazing team of people, and all of us had this just goal of. You know, Retro had a lot of bad history, and they'd had a lot of projects come and go, and we just wanted to make this one go, make it work. So yeah, we're really late about it. You know what's funny is I'm pretty sure in the trilogy version of this that there is a lot of space pirate bodies flying into space that I don't remember being there. But you can see them floating up there by the planet, they get jutted out. I'm pretty sure those got added in trilogy. Yeah, so I'm gonna, we're at time, Jason?
We're at 3:21.
5:21 for us.
5:21 for us in Texas, Roby. Come
Oh,
on.
I'm sorry. I should be auto translating this between the two. It's almost, the thing is that what makes me sad is that it's 5:21, which is 30 minutes. 30 minutes from now, I would be eating Chewies somewhere. Versus
in your honor. How about that?
Yeah, how about we all eat Chewies and you don't because you haven't come here for like.
Look, I'll tell you what. I will donate $50 if you guys send a picture of you guys eating Chewies. And you tweet it at Crackdown, I will donate $50.
I think we should do that. Yeah, right. We'll do that. So this. I love this cinema. I mean, we totally ripped it off from Aliens, but like, it's awesome. Except where the ship goes through the leaf, which always bugged everyone. Yeah. So we actually built this area really late, and it kind of shows because one thing is you can see the raindrops actually bouncing off the suit, which I think is one of the coolest things we've done. I'll save. Why not? And then another thing is just like all the atmospherics in here. I'm just so proud of, particularly like, looking up and the raindrops being on the visor again, like really selling that sort of visor theme. It's just I'm just so happy about it. So this is a room full of longing, and this is like one of the big Metroid-y things, right? Is you see all these areas you want to go to, like that'll eventually be the double jump boots in a few hours. There's another couple areas you can, those will be double jump boots back there. That's an area I don't want to go to right now, but basically, like, it's all about longing. It's all about seeing where you can go, not being able to go there, but knowing that you want to be there. These little guys, these beetles, these are actually the first AI that we made for the game. We made them in a different area that I'll show you, but those were the first little guys, and they were painfully difficult because we were working off of a game engine that was one we were building just for the game.
So Jack, I'm gonna stop you. We have some people jumping in. I just want to remind everybody we are talking with the guys, Armature Studios, the creators behind the new Microsoft game Recore coming out for Xbox. It was announced at E3 last year. They are playing Metroid Prime, not because we just like Metroid Prime, but because Jack, as well as Todd and Mark, who are the founders of Armature Studios, worked on and were some of the creative leads and tech leads on this particular title. So it is more than just a nostalgia play. These guys actually built this game. And then we are also going to be looking at their new game, which is we're going to be playing on PC as well, and we'll be looking at that here a little bit later on. So that is why we are seeing Metroid Prime right now. And then somebody said that they are gonna stop by and eat nachos with you. So I will not tell them which Chewies you're going to, just to protect you.
Well, we're not going today. It's about to do another rainpocalypse today. But,
oh yeah, and you guys had a flooded office.
We had power outage for like a full day. On a day we were trying to send a bill to you guys at Recore, actually. So yeah, we had a nice little power outage for a good half day. Which was a blast, I'll tell you. So this Chosen Rooms room is actually one of the first rooms we built in the game, and I think it might be our biggest room in Prime 1, and it is what we use for all of our stress tests. And actually, this beetle encounter down here is the first real beetle encounter we had in the game. I remember like trying to get these guys to light properly, and working with the light maps and. Just getting like an actual full-on fun encounter. We concentrated on this just about more than anything else in the beginning of the game. So let me take you through really quick to getting a missile. So I mean here, can't open that door. Need a missile. Go here. That's a nice half pipe and another long missile. Again, like, get the morph ball, do half pipes. Everything about this game is just knowing what you want and not to get it. Yep. So here, we've reused these hallways a few times. Again, these are the same. This is like a reuse of those early from the early. these Legion Eye guys are funny because basically the artist built them and just sort of put them in the world, and they're like, those are really cool, but they don't do anything. So then someone just thought, why not make them shoot laser beams? And that's how that happened. This one of the upcoming rooms was one of the first rooms that actually artists built in the game as a test for engine stuff originally, before we really knew anything that was going on. And a really cool little room, and I think one of the first that has a Samus reflection for a little bit of trivia there. And then here, I'll go through here, and then this upcoming room is like the second room, and basically, you know, these rooms are the first pieces built in the game. The walls were, I believe, the second AI built, and went around, and again, like, as another sense of longing, if I were scanning down here, you know, stress points present in Brimstone, you know, that's nice to know. So let me jump in just to first. Now, what's fun is this room down here with the little glow bugs. You'll notice that it is a diagonal 10. That was funny because it was actually a mistake. We had an export problem in this room. It went diagonal, and then everyone thought it was so cool that we decided to just. But and then, you know, we're like, in engineering, we're like, yeah, I mean, there should be a collision problem here, and so we all just kept it and thought it was really cool. So yeah, then this is our first encounters. Ruby, if you have any questions, now would be a good time, because this encounter takes me forever.
Okay, so if we do have any questions, the thing is that people, obviously, yes, there is a delay between what he is saying and what we are seeing, and we apologize for that, but that is the world that we live in, so, and that's okay. But what I can do is, when we're getting into this right now, is we can just take this quick break and say, as we watch Jack with all of his skill, to know that this is for charity. We are working here for Extra Life. We are here with the guys from Recore. We're trying to beat Team Twitch, $9,011, so please donate. The link to donate is actually coming up quite often in the channel. It's also right below the channel. There's a direct link to go ahead and do the donation. We are playing the game to show people, just kind of to talk about some history